Hi everyone. We'll be starting the free program review session right on time. Uh, and meanwhile, welcome everyone. It's fantastic to have you all on board. I'm Rasha Khan and I'm your host for today's webinar. And I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. Would love to know where are you joining us from. I'm just dropping a hello on the chat with my name and where I'm joining from. And you can also drop us a hello and let us know you're at here. It's always good to network these events before we start. This one is a global event, and you'll be seeing a lot of people joining from different countries. So that makes it very interesting. And also would like to apologize for my if my voice is not clear or audible. I have a little bit of throat infection, so just please ignore that. And Awesome. I see introductions have started coming in on the chat here. Hello, everyone, once again. And we are also streaming live on the YouTube channel. Let me just quickly check out folks who have joined us there as well. They will be joining us on a YouTube live chat box. Yes, we have started streaming there as well. And I see introductions have started coming in there as well. That's great. I see Vinayak says, hi, sir. G. Shepherd says, have joined from New Jersey, US. Siddesh from, okay, Siddesh, would love to know where are you joining us from? He's already written a question already for you, Brian, there. Awesome. We'll take questions. Folks, we have not started the session only right now. I see Suraj says hello on the chat. Would love to know where are you joining us from, Suraj. And I see Glubod Lade has joined us from Lagos, Nigeria. That's a very tough name to pronounce, I must say. Motema has joined us from Nigeria. Marriott from Benin. I see greetings from DC Metro, US. Michelle. Arindam from India. Surat says has joined from Jaipur. Sylvia from Canada. Awesome. Keep the introductions coming in, folks. I see a lot of new folks are joining in. We are just about to start the session. The session is not started yet. There are 4 more minutes left. And thank you for joining in early. Let's utilize this time. Let's introduce ourselves on the chat here. Drop us a hello in the chat if you're here with your name and where are you joining us from. This is a global webinar. So you'll be seeing a lot of people joining from different parts of the world. And you can already see, them putting down their introductions on the chat here. We are also streaming live on a YouTube channel. So I see a lot of folks have joined us there as well. So folks, we'll be paying attention to your YouTube live chat box as well. So in case you have any questions for our speaker, you can let us know on the chat and we will take it whenever the time allows and the speaker gets time. Meanwhile, you guys are putting down your introductions in the chat here. Let me just quickly, take you through what exactly we'll be covering today. So this is a free program review session where we'll be talking about the leading safe 6 training certification and how you can advance your career trajectory with agile excellence. So we'll be talking about these things today, and we'll be covering the program review here. And meanwhile, you are giving new introductions on the chat here. Let me just quickly take you through the few quick ground rules we have here. So in case you have any question for our speaker, you can put it down in the Q&A box. By the Q&A box on Zoom, folks who have joined us on Zoom, not YouTube. By the Q&A box here, because as you can see, the chat box has your amazing introductions there. And we would love to keep the engagement going on there, just so you feel free to message, have a conversation there with the speaker, with the folks there. And whatever questions you might have about the program, you can put it on in the Q&A box, and this will help a speaker to go and check out your questions whenever the time allows and answer you as well. So that will be really helpful for us. And also we'll be taking questions towards the end, most of them. So this will be really helpful for us to go and check out your questions in the Q&A box directly. We might miss your messages on the chat here. So that is the reason. So please do that and keep your questions related to the topic also. That's all. And also, the session is being recorded. In case you miss anything, or if in case you want to go through the recording of the session once again, you can expect a follow-up email from us with the recording link to view after the webinar ends. And for the webinar certificate for attending this webinar, not the program certificate, both are different things, just to be clear. So you'll have to request a proof of attendance. This session is 60 minutes long, and once the session ends on Zoom, you will get a pop-up by Zoom which says post-webinar survey pop-up. It will have 3 easy questions. Basically, one will be the feedback, one will be the what name would you like to see on your webinar certificate, and we will need that data, your full name, in order to send you a personalized certificate of the webinar. So I'll nudge about these rules during the session as well on the chat. Don't worry, because I see a lot of new folks are joining in, and I see we already started the session with the ground rules here. So you have not missed anything, I will just remind those in the chat here and also towards the end. So in case you have any questions about these ground rules, please feel free to ping me here on the chat. And also, the session is powered by Simplila, world's #1 online bootcamp. We are very proud that we have been in this digital skills training space for more than a decade now. And we have transformed life, empowering people via these digital skills like business analytics, AI, machine learning, data science, cloud computing, project management. And today we'll be talking about Agile, Lead Safe certification program here. Also, we have advanced over 5 lakh plus careers in over 150 plus countries. We have 800 plus qualified trainers who actually do an amazing job, in these programs where you basically, take up these programs and, have an amazing career, land your dream jobs, upskill yourself, upgrade yourself. So let's start with a quick poll here. I see a lot of you new folks have joined in. Now, this poll will definitely give us an understanding of, what kind of experience folks have who have joined us. So this poll says, how many years of experience do you currently have? So I'm just launching this quick poll here on Zoom. And you can choose the most suitable one, as per the experience you have. When I talk about experience, I'm talking about work experience, and it's a generic work experience, nothing related to the topic of the session today. Awesome. I see introductions kept coming in while I was speaking. I see Roland has joined us, says hello. I see Miss Rand says hello, everyone. Someone has joined us from Canada. Would love to know your name. Not able to make out from the email ID. I see Mohammed has joined us from Ghana. Anand from Kanpur, India. Joanne Pablo has joined us. Would love to know where are you joining us from, Joanne? Yuba has joined us from Juba, South Sudan. Mohammed Adil has joined us from Jubail, KSA. And Mitra from US. Uma from US, Barani from Kuwait, and Mark from Orlando. Edward from US, Iola from Ireland. I see hi from Mexico City. Hello. And a lot more introductions on the YouTube live chat box as well. Wasim has joined us from Pakistan, Romania. Okay, hello from Romania, from Cyprian. And Osma also says hello. Awesome, awesome. Shahid from Pakistan. Keep the introductions coming in, folks. A lot of new folks who have joined in. Just to let you know that we are just starting the session. You're not late. We are just doing a quick poll here, just to understand, the experience of the audience who have joined us. As you can see, folks who have joined us, are coming from different parts of the world. They're giving their intros on the chat here. I'll just put my intro on the chat once again for a lot of you folks who are new here. So my name is Rasha Khan, and I'm your host for today's webinar. And I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India, and would love to know where are you tuning in from. So you can let us know by dropping us your hello with your name here on the chat to let us know you're here first of all. And you can also let us know where are you joining us from. I see a lot of AI messages here already popping in. AI doesn't leave us anywhere, right? It's always there. Awesome. 5 more seconds for the poll here, folks. How many years of experience do you currently have? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. let me end the poll. And thank you so much for sharing your responses there. Let me also share the results with you and our speaker here. Let's see, 67% of you have voted for more than 5 years, 20% of you have voted for 0 to 3 years, and 6% of you have voted for 3 to 5 years, and 7% of you have voted for currently studying. So thank you so much for sharing that. This definitely gives our speaker also an understanding of, what kind of experienced crowd has joined us, and will definitely help his tailor his responses accordingly during the session as well. So thank you so much. Now, moving on to the agenda of today's session. The first and the most important agenda which you see on the screen here is about you, getting to know about you, how we can help you out in your career better. And the second agenda of today's session will be talking about why do we need scaled agile. We'll be talking more about in detail about that topic. And then we'll be introducing you to the program review of the program, leading Safe 6 training with Safe Agile certification. We'll be deep diving into this program and taking you through what this program exactly offers, how exactly the learning path looks like, what exactly are the skills covered in this program, and much more. We have an interesting in the session program to be lined up for this one. And based on that, we'll be sharing the learner outcomes with you. And based on the interest you share towards enrollment into the program, we'll be sharing the enrollment steps with you. These are very quick and easy, just to give you an overview what happens after that. And also the upcoming program schedule, and also what is the program fee for this program. I will also take you through the program page and share with you the program syllabus as well towards the end, so you can check it out for your own self later as well. And in case you have any questions, even after the webinar. So that's not a problem. And also, as I mentioned earlier, there will be a Q&A session towards the end. So in case you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask, even if they are silly. Just make sure that it is related to what we are talking about. And that will be really helpful for our speaker to answer, and put your questions in the Q&A box here on Zoom for folks who have joined us on Zoom. For folks who have joined us on the YouTube live, you can share your questions in the YouTube live chat box, and I will make sure that our speaker answers them. I will share them with our speaker here. So thank you so much. Let's start the session. But would like to welcome our speaker, Brian Campbell here. Brian, a very good morning to you. And it's always a pleasure hosting you. I see a lot of folks who have joined us already, and we have an interesting program review lined up and lots more to talk about, what exactly is Agile, what exactly is the certification related to Agile. I'm pretty sure they will have a lot of questions which we'll be addressing soon. But would love to know a little bit about you from you for our audience here before we start.
Sure. Thanks, Rasha. And it's great to have an opportunity to connect with everyone that's joining us from around the world. So my name is Brian Campbell, and I am a Agile coach. And a lot of the work that I do is actually with the Scaled Agile Framework. So really excited to talk a little bit more about what the Scaled Agile Framework is and how certification in this area can really help your career, and I think also help you learn a lot about some very interesting areas that that you can continue to grow. So you can see I've got lots of certifications. One, of course, is the SPC, the Scaled Professional Certifications. So I do a lot of work, as I mentioned, with Scale. Also do a lot of work at the Project Management Institute. So you see PMP and PGMP and PMI, ACP, that's their Agile Certified Professional Certificate. And then, of course, I do lots of work with just Agile areas as well. So all that kind of blends together. As you can probably see, I work with typically very large companies. So these are companies that often are global in presence, or are very large Fortune 100 size organizations. And many of them really want to get the value and benefit of Agile, but they need to scale it across these very large organizations. So this is where something like the Scaled Agile Framework becomes very valuable. So I work a lot with the different, accreditation bodies like the Project Management Institute, even the Agile Alliance, the Scaled Agile Framework organizations, to kind of help contribute and offer ideas on what directions industry and the market is going. And then they use that to developer certifications and even the exams that you'll need to take when you get these certifications. So I have my own company. This is something I do as a living, and I've been working with Simplilearn. Gosh, I think Rasha coming up to 10 years now, really when Simplilearn just got started. So it's been really exciting to be part of their growth trajectory as well. So happy to be here today. Looking forward to our conversation.
Thank you so much, Brian, for your introduction. We'll be starting the session now. And I have answered a few questions you had about recording and other things in the chat here. Please do check it out. Starting with the agenda here, why do exactly we need scaled agile? Starting with exactly like why do we exactly need scaled agile? What exactly is agile? And we'll be talking more about in detail about the topic agile.
Yeah, that's a great question. And, really starts from an understanding what Agile is. So some of the folks on the session and the call here probably have an understanding of Scrum. That's probably the predominant Agile set of practices. And if we're familiar with Scrum and some of the other Agile practices that are out there, we know that they tend to really focus at the team level. So a big part of Agile is how do we find ways for people to collaborate, to interact, to sort of self-manage as a team to solve problems. So big focus of all the Agile practices is really at the team. And that's really effective because we want high-performing teams. High-performing teams are what ultimately deliver value to customers and help organizations grow and expand. So we really need that as sort of a key component. But what starts getting a little bit complicated is what do you do when you have lots and lots of teams? How do you get sort of all those teams working together and aligned? And when we start getting into bigger organizations and enterprises, well, new complexities emerge, right? You're starting to think about how do I scale this across maybe other countries and geographies, and what about dependencies we might have with other teams? So all those complexities are things that need to get addressed, and we need to find some ways in which we can solve those. We've got lots of different products, big companies, lots of products they're selling. So they want to make sure that we're delivering these products and the features of those products to our customers. We want to do that quickly. We want to make sure there's lots of quality. We want to find ways in which we can kind of break out of organizational silos. So we don't want to just think of, hey, we've got a marketing area, a sales area, an operations area. We want to find ways in which we can kind of work across all those different areas. We want to manage our risks, and we want to respond to changes that we see in the market, new opportunities. I think you might have mentioned AI at the start of the session, Rasha, right? That's kind of a new thing that's emerged relatively recently. So how do organizations respond to that? Maybe embrace it to get benefits from it, or figure out ways in which you can change your products so they can position those in the market. And then ultimately, how do we kind of get big companies with lots of teams kind of working consistently? So we're all kind of using the same terminology and the same practices, so we can all kind of ensure that we're communicating effectively and collaborating well. So that's a big reason why we need to think of some ways to scale Agile outside of just Scrum or Kanban or extreme programming. We want to elevate that a little bit so we're expanding across the whole organization.
Well, that sounds very interesting. We'll be talking more about what are some of the most effective ways to scale Agile.
Yeah, that's another great question. One thing to be aware of is there's different options available. And we see a list of them here. So starting with SAFe, and I think one of the Q&A questions is, what does SAFe stand for? Well, SAFe stands for the Scaled Agile Framework. And you could probably think of this as sort of the biggest of the frameworks that companies use today. This is, an approach that's used across the globe, very prevalent in most of the largest companies in the world, so they're very actively using that. But it's not the only option. There are other ones. We've got Scrum and Scrum. So Scrum, well, Scrum and Scrums is a way in which you can take those Scrum practices and extend it across the enterprise. We have large scaled Scrum, okay, and that's some work by a leading thought influencer in the Agile space, Craig Larbin. We've got Disciplined Agile Delivery. That sort of found a home in the Project Management Institute. So they're leveraging that a lot. And how do we take project management practices and extend them into this Agile space? We've got Spotify, and most of us are probably familiar with Spotify as a music service, but they actually also have a very effective way in which they work in an agile set of practices and use that to be able to release and deliver more value to the customers. Nexus, which is sort of a companion to Scrum of Scrums, leverages some of the Scrum ideas and expands it. So we've got lots of different flavors, some a bit more popular than others, and absolutely the most popular is the Scaled Agile Framework.
Thank you so much for shedding some light on that. Moving on, starting with what exactly are Scaled Agile Framework SAFe? I think we've already gotten the question when we started the session also in the Q&A.
Right. Yeah, so when should we use SAFe? When is SAFe a good fit? Well, a couple things just to think about. The first is we talked, Agile is really centered on the team level. So when is SAFe really effective? Well, when we've got really complex projects that we have a number of teams and we start introducing these other ideas. Most of us are familiar with a project. Project sort of is a well-defined set of outcomes that we've got a budget and a time that we want to deliver. A program is a collection of projects that all work together to deliver some common outcome or a value case. And then we have the portfolio. Portfolio is sort of the highest level in the organization. It really talks to, where is the organization making investments in different opportunities that they want to take to the market and generate revenue. Or reduce costs or increase customer satisfaction. Lots of things we can do at the portfolio level. So SAFe really fits well in that space when you're dealing with large, complex environments. Now, there's different flavors of SAFe. The latest flavor, the latest version is version 5, and it centers around a number of core competencies. And we don't have a chance to go into all the details of those right now, but it's a highly structured framework. And really, when we think of a term like a framework, one we think of a framework is sort of like the scaffolding that helps when you're building commercial structure or a house. So the scaffolding is that structure that lets us kind of build things up and expand them out. So SAFe is much like that. It's like a framework and scaffolding that helps you deliver products to your customers. So there's a whole collection of principles. Some of you might be familiar with things like the Agile Manifesto, which has 4 values, 12 principles. Very similarly, Scaled Agile Framework has its own collection of principles that support those Agile values. It also leverages a lot of best practices or effective practices that are proven to deliver value. So those are all kind of embedded within the framework. What I find really powerful about the Scaled Agile Framework is it is also freely available. So any one of us can go to scaledagileframework.com and you have access to the framework, all the information within the framework, which includes links to reference documents and templates and examples. So it's a really powerful way to for organizations to leverage essentially a Wikipedia of scaled agile knowledge, and it's freely accessible, as I mentioned. Now, of course, what SAFe wants to do is encourage people to get certifications so they can expand and extend this framework across more and more organizations. So that's really what we're going to be spending some time talking about.
Thank you so much, Brian, for giving us the detailed explanation of what exactly SAFe is. Folks, do let us know if you still have any questions. The Q&A box is open for your queries there. And moving on to the next slide here. How exactly does SAFe work?
Yeah, how does it kind of all come together? Well, you see some of these sort of knowledge areas that SAFe emphasizes. So at its heart, it really is about the team, bringing people together to collaborate, interact, work well together, create those high-performing teams, really emphasize that technical agility, because There's a lot of focus on building products, and we need that technical expertise, and then delivering those products. So think about that as like, when do you want to release the new version of a product? Some organizations like Google, they tend to release immediately. Other organizations, maybe more in a conventional software product might have a release every quarter. So you need to give some thought to how do you want to deliver that. What does the enterprise solution look like? So we want to lift up a little bit beyond just looking at individual products, think about how they all align together. And this comes back to this concept of lean portfolio management. You'll often see the abbreviation LPM for that. And that's really about how do we get ideas, opportunities, and flow them quickly through our delivery processes. Because a good idea is only valuable if you're able to build it and deploy it. So we want to find ways in which we can do that kind of quickly. And that might mean rethinking the way we're organized as a company. A lot of organizational structures really come from a place that was 50 years in the past, when we didn't have as much change and fluidity as we see now in our business environment. So we might need to kind of rethink the way we're organized and align our organizational structure to these agile delivery practices. And a big part of this is ensuring that we're continuously learning, and that's part of the reason Simplilearn has done so well, because they're aware that change is around us all the time. People are going to be interested in understanding how do we respond and leverage new skills and adapt to changes in market. So continuous learning becomes incredibly valuable. And then ultimately, we also want to make sure that our organizational leadership is applying some of the ideas and principles. So that's sort of the whole idea around how SAFe works. It's got these 7 different areas that puts a lot of focus on, and each one of them has lots and lots of rich detail that you can use to scale Agile across your organization.
Thank you so much, Brian, for taking us through how exactly does SAFe work. Moving on to the next slide here. Now that we have talked in detail about what exactly are scaled agile, and what exactly are those practices, and what exactly is SAFe here. So basically scaled agile framework. So we would love to know what exactly is stopping you from gaining expertise in SAFe agile here. So I'm just launching a quick poll here. This one is a multiple choice poll. So you can select multiple options here, because there can be multiple concerns here, right? So we would love to know what exactly is stopping you from gaining SAFe agile expertise. So you can see 4 quick options here. I'm just reading out these options for everyone on Zoom, and folks who have joined us on YouTube live chat box, you can just let us know on the chat what are the challenges you are facing from these options. This first one here is, I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And the second one here is, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the third one here is, I wouldn't get the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And the fourth one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So these are the 4 options. And this one is a multiple choice poll, as I mentioned earlier. So you can select multiple options, because there can be multiple concerns or challenges you might be facing, right? And obviously, if these options do not cover the challenges you are facing, and if something is stopping you, the Q&A box is completely open for that. You can put on your queries there. So folks, I would love for you to be active on the Q&A box, because that is how we can help you out, in the questions you might have about the program or SAFe agile in general. So yeah. Awesome. I see most of you have already started responding to the poll here, but let me just give 10 seconds more for the poll here before we end the poll, and share the results with you folks. Awesome. I see like few comments coming on the chat as questions. It will be really great if you can go and put down your questions in the Q&A box, and also elaborate as well for a speaker to understand what exactly is the question here, how Brian can exactly help you. Awesome. I see Bhaskaran has I think left a question here. Bhaskaran, please help. I see Lupita asking, any idea to help participants access some useful resources and reading materials? The program link I can share with you. You can go through the in detail program syllabus, all the details even after the webinar through that link. And definitely help you with articles you can find on our resources channel as well. So please allow me some time for that. I'll be sharing those links in some time, if that's okay. Awesome. I will be ending this poll now. So last 2 seconds for the poll. What's stopping you from gaining safe, agile expertise here? So I'm ending this poll now and sharing the results with you folks here and as we go. Let's see what have you voted for. I see 57% of the votes are for I wouldn't get the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And I see 36% of the votes for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. And 30% of the votes for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And 23% of the votes are for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. So interesting. I think practical exposure being being one of the biggest concerns here. I can see that. And then I see that a lot of working professionals have joined us. So working schedule is one of them. So I think we'll keep in mind when we are covering the program review and how we can address your queries there as well. Thank you so much for sharing your concerns. And moving on to the program introduction here. So the leading Safe 6 training with Safe Agile certificate comes with a partnership with Skate Agile partner as a silver business partner here. It comes with a comprehensive curriculum with the industry aligned learning path. We'll be talking about the learning path in much more detail in the upcoming slides. Also showing you how exactly the learning environment looks like as well once you take up the program. This program has 16 hours of live instructor training, which basically gives you a lot of exposure and interaction with the instructor here. This is globally renowned and seasoned safe practice consultants. SPCs will deliver the sessions in the live virtual classroom format. And also the safe Agilist exam cost is also included with the course fee here. Course fee I'll be sharing in the upcoming slides. You'll be earning up to 16 SEUs and PDUs for continued learning support. And the online format of this bootcamp will be digital and live virtual classroom training, which we can see here. I've already shared the 16 hours of live instructor-led classroom training will be there. And moving on to the rising demand here in the market of the SAFE framework. So the SAFE framework here stands out as the most important and the widely adopted skilling method. 8 lakh plus SAFE experts worldwide, are basically 75% of the Fortune 100 companies who actively utilize SAFE here. And the career impact here, starting with the salary, which is the most important, right? When you are choosing a career, you would want growth. So here, from 2018 to 2025, we have seen a 25% salary growth rate in SAFE. And also the average annual salary here in the same year range is $1,06,000. Also, the growth in the job listings have also been seen, and there has been 67% of almost a growth there in the job listings there. Also, the need for SAFE experts is expanding across several sectors like telecom, government, oil and gas, entertainment, finance, healthcare. So, whichever sector you come from, everyone is welcome here. And we have taken these sources from Scrum Online, Salary Survey, and PayScale and Glassdoor just to give you an idea of what exactly is going on in terms of career impact and the rising demand of the SAFE job roles here. Now, starting with the course curriculum here, Brian, can you take us through how exactly this, a certification builds their skills in SAFE step by step here?
Sure. Yeah, so you can see that a lot of thought has gone into building out a program, a curriculum that lays sort of a foundation that you will build on and be able to expand your skills to the point that you can take these back to either your existing employer or maybe a new employer that you're interested in joining. And I did see one of the questions in the chat is like, where's the demand for this? Well, someone was mentioning, hey, I'm having a hard time finding opportunities, even though I've got a Scrum Master certification and a scaled Agile framework certification. And I will share with you that I find that a little surprising. It might be a question of where you're targeting your searches. Remember, the Skilled Agile framework is used for the largest companies in the world. Almost all of them are using the Skilled Agile framework. So if you can demonstrate you have experience and, in fact, a certification, this is going to be very appealing to them. It doesn't matter where in the world you're working. I have used Skilled Agile framework here in the US with companies like Home Depot and ExxonMobil, Europe with companies like BP, companies like Tata and Wipro, and many of the other very large managed service providers based in India support customers and clients using scaled Agile framework and Scrum practices. So the demand is so high. You saw that in the previous slide. So there's lots of opportunity here to invest in yourself with this certification. So we're going to start, with the foundation. What's the foundation? Well, let's make sure we understand the Scaled Agile framework, getting people familiar with what it is and the different areas it covers, and then really digging into a lean agile mindset. This means a big departure from how people in the past have been sort of managing work, which was often very push-oriented. You would tell someone, hey, I need to get this done by this date and this way, to more of a pull-based system, where we're going to let people who have the skills and the knowledge, the expertise, understand what the work is, and then give a commitment to when they will get it delivered. And that increases our predictability, because now people doing the work are the ones that have a voice in when that work will be delivered. And all this goes into creating high-performing teams. At the end of the day, it's all about the teams that are delivering value, and we want to find ways in which we can create high-performing teams. So there's an important emphasis on that. And then with that, we can move into our program planning. And that's the term PI, program planning. In fact, right now, I'm in the midst of a program planning event at a large company. I'm just pulled myself out for an hour to chat a little bit more about these topics with everyone. And really, this is it's a big room planning. And when we hear that term big room, it's literally a big room. We've got a great big room here. We've got hundreds of people in it. And we're talking about what are we going to deliver in the next 3 months, that next program interval, that program increment. And this is an opportunity for everyone to get aligned on, here's our priorities, here's what success looks like, and how are we going to organize to deliver that. And you'll see in lesson 5, this is when we start talking about value. Now we need to start changing from here's activities that we're performing and outputs we're producing to, hey, what value does that produce? Who's the customer that we're trying to satisfy here? Why do they need this? How is it going to help them? Once we have that, we've got a good understanding of the values they're delivering, we can elevate to the lean agile enterprise. Notice we've sort of talked about embracing lean agile mindset. That's a little bit more at the individual team level. Now we're going to elevate that across the whole enterprise, and that's going to drive this idea of a portfolio. Hey, just think of, if you've got an investment portfolio, same kind of thing, right? Organizations, instead of having stocks that they're investing in companies, they have teams and products they're investing. So that's their portfolio. And then ultimately, this allows us to build those large solutions and lead the change that comes with implementing those large, complex solutions.
Thank you so much, Brian, for taking us through the learning path of this program. Also moving on to the free courses, which are covered in the program. So I see there are so many free courses, which this, certification offers. But maybe, Brian, you can highlight, a few of the important ones which are, beneficial.
Absolutely. And I think one of the really exciting parts of this offering that Simplilearn is extending is look at all of these incredibly powerful certifications and knowledge you're going to leave. So the Scrum Foundation, the Agile Certified Practitioner, there's just the PMI, Project Management Institute's Agile certification, the RMP, that's the Risk Management Professional Certification, Lean Management, Business Analysis. All these are the cornerstones of how organizations are going to organize and deliver value. So if you've got these certifications, you're immediately going to be very, you have a lot of organizations very interested in bringing you on board. Or if your current organization is sponsoring this, they're making a good investment in your learning path. And then notice the other areas you're going to be learning about. Digital marketing, financial modeling. This is a really important part of how do we understand our value? How do we determine that? Well, we're going to need tools like Microsoft Excel, financial calculators, and then supporting all this is data, big data. What are we going to leverage for our analytics? Where is that coming from? So tools like Hadoop and Apache Cassandra, our cloud fundamentals, the Amazon Web Services cloud environment. It's going to give you a good exposure to the whole cloud domain. Business analytics, you see our AI offerings, which of course is very contemporary. You can't turn around now, like you said at the beginning of the session, Rasha. AI is everywhere. can't avoid it. So let's understand it. Robotic process automation. So how do we find ways in which we can automate lots of manual processes so we can take that time and focus on higher value delivery? And then security. How do we manage security? So this is such a rich package of skills and certifications. It's absolutely going to future-proof you and your career because you're going to draw upon all this for the entire time you'll be working.
Thank you so much, Brian, for highlighting, one of these important free courses, you're getting access through the certification here. Now, talking about the learning environment. So basically, once you take up this program, how exactly the learning environment looks like, what exactly happens, maybe you can just give us a little bit of a view of that. And also, we'll be talking more about the program. But before that, let me stop sharing my screen and let me know once you're ready. You can go ahead and share your screen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the learning environment here. So one of the things that, oops, sorry, I guess I gotta wait for you to stop sharing and then I can start sharing. There we go.
Sure.
Click on the link there. Yeah. So one of the things we just want to make sure people are sort of familiar with is the learning management system. This is a really important part of how you're going to access your learning. And one of the things that I think Simplilearn has done just a phenomenal job on is building a platform that is very easy to use, very accessible, and also very portable. So you can access their training delivery content on your laptop or computer, in your tablet, even your phone. So you've got a break during the day, you can log in, you can do some of your learning wherever it's convenient. This works really well if you're a busy professional, it's got very active day that you're working, or if you've got family life, you got kids, all the things that come with that. So this fits really well into that type of lifestyle. So you'll come into the learning management platform. You'll see that you'll have a number of courses. Now recognize I'm an instructor, so I tend to get assigned some of these programs on an ad-need basis. So let's just take a peek at one of them here. We've got a postgraduate program, data analytics. We've got one on supply chain. There are just so many of these offerings that are available. We also have some of the master level programs. So this would be in the same space. You'd have a collection of different courses, certifications that you'd come to. They all start with a cohort introduction. Cohort is just sort of a group of people all starting at the same time. So you've got some peers you can work with as you're learning. And then you'll notice each one of these cards is one of the courses that will be available. So here's one for the PMP, another one for Agile Scrum Master. You simply click on this and immediately you're going to be brought into this learning experience. Things you're going to see include a video, highly polished and professional set of videos with instructors narrating all the content. You'll see on the right-hand side, you've got easy to navigate sections. You've got lessons. Each lesson is broken up into little chapters. You can track your progress, all very accessible, very easy to kind of follow. In addition, some people get a lot of value from self-paced learning. So learning when you have the opportunity, Others get a lot of value from more live instructor-led discussions. So you also have the opportunity to click on live classes, and you can find a class that will be offered at different times, and you can join that class, and you can take your pick of which ones you join and for how long you join. So that's a great way to kind of get some of that live instructor-led training. And then we've also got things like assessments. So you can check your knowledge. How well have you learned some of this material? In the cases where there might be a certification exam, you're going to have an opportunity to take some different practice exams. And all these practice exams are created by people like myself, who have a lot of familiarity with these certification exams and work with the certification organizations. So I work a lot with the Project Management Institute, the Agile Alliance. So when I'm crafting practice exam questions for Simplilearn, these are going to be very similar to the questions you're going to get asked on these exams. So they're a great way to prepare for that examination that you'll need to take to get the certification. So didn't want to spend too much time on this, but did want to get people a little familiar with sort of the look, the feel, the ease of navigation. One thing just to call out as well, in addition to what you see here in the Learning Management platform, there's also a community that's available. And that's a place where you can post questions that your instructors can respond to. You can work with your other colleagues in this cohort that's taking this program. And it's a great way not just to learn, but also to network. These are people that will probably also be expanding in their careers. So when you have that question in the future, hey, are there any opportunities? You've got some people you can reach out to that you've had some shared experiences with, and that can open the doors to some other opportunities. So yeah, there you go, Rasha.
Thank you so much, Brian, for taking us through the learning environment or giving us an idea exactly what exactly happens in the learning environment at Simplilearn. Let me just quickly share back my screen. And folks, this is a really good time in case you have any questions. We have already started getting a lot of interesting questions in the Q&A box, which Brian has already started answering as well. So please make sure to go and put any questions in the Q&A box. Also talking about the skills which are covered in this program here. So maybe Brian, you can just shed some light quickly on the skills which this program covers.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, first thing we want to really get a good foundation is the application of the Scaled Agile framework. When are you going to use it? How should you structure it? Then the next is this idea of the Agile release train. So that's something, as I mentioned, I'm currently in the midst of right now. We're in a big planning event where we bring in all these different teams that are sort of all delivering to a common value stream. So in this case, I'm working with a group, a number of teams focus on manufacturing. So the question is, how do we organize these teams to help ensure that this manufacturing value stream gets all the features and enhancements and some of the improvements that they've identified. And this is sort of this idea of a value stream. This is where you're going to get introduced to this idea of what value does your company provide? And let's make sure we're organizing our teams to deliver that value. You're going to learn a little bit more about this lean agile portfolio that we talked a bit about earlier. Configuring the Agile framework. So remember, every organization is a little bit different. So you're going to make your own adjustments to how you leverage the framework. So we're going to spend some time thinking and talking about that. We're going to talk about unlocking intrinsic motivation. So what are the things that get people motivated to kind of work on things? And oftentimes that comes in the form of, do they have autonomy? Okay, people want to have the freedom to work on things the way that best fits their skills and experience. They want to have a chance to improve on themselves and kind of establish their mastery. And they also need to have clarity. What are the things that I'm delivering and why are they important? How are they going to help our customers? So that's that intrinsic motivation. And ultimately, how do we support lean agile behaviors across the enterprise? So you're going to learn all those different skills in the courses that you saw previously.
Thank you so much, Brian, for covering the skills which are covered in the program. Now moving on to the next slide here, talking about the eligibility and the prerequisites. So there are no prerequisites to attend this course. It's recommended that you have at least 5 years of experience in software development, testing, business analysis, or project management. It is recommended, but it's not compulsory. It is up to you, like based on the number of experiences you have. And also, it is additionally recommended that anyone taking this course has a basic understanding of Scrum here. Moving on to the next slide. So, who exactly this course is best suited for? Executives, quality analysts, program project managers, solution architect, anyone who's wishing to aid the organization in the adoption of a lean agile framework, senior managers, directors and VPs, and process and enterprise architects, product managers, and portfolio managers. We have talked about the agile frame of agile and safe and detailed here, but so are the salaries are important. And let's talk about what are the exactly salary averages here and how exactly are they in demand. So here, for an agile coach here, the annual salary here starts with a minimum of $100K and goes up to a maximum of $165 here. And for an agile Scrum Master, it starts with an average of $78K and goes up to a maximum of $132K here. Again, like these are average salaries, it can be much more than this also. And also the hiring companies here. So the companies which are in demand are hiring are like IBM, Wells Fargo, Genpact, and Capgemini and Wells Fargo here. Also, we have global leaders and as program advisors here. Some of them I'm just quickly going to take you through them. Naveen Kumar Singh here, who has 30 plus years of experience. You can see he's a principal consultant here and is an agile coach, CSD and LFST as well. Preet Pandle, who has 21 plus years of experience, is a partner consultant and has covers PST and agile coach as well. Satyajit Gandhyat, who also has like 24 plus years of experience, is a partner consultant in Agile Coach and SPC. And Atulya Krishna, who has 15 plus years of experience, is a partner consultant for Agile Transformation Coach here. And we have such amazing program advisors with, a hefty amount of experience, as you can see, in decades here. And they basically make sure that, these courses are as per the safe partnered. We have a partnership with Safe Agile Partnerships as per that. And quickly moving on to the learner outcomes here of the program. Interestingly, the success stories, of the learners here, as you can see, Shamshri Haldar, who says that the certification significantly boosted her career and has enabled her to change her job into a new domain. And she has also received a substantial salary hike, and also it has given her necessary knowledge and skills to excel in her field and confidently take on new challenges. Talking about Praveen Kumar Pandey, he shares that he has cleared the exam on his first attempt. That is definitely, important, and that's definitely really good. And the certification experience here has enabled him to step into a new role and has expanded his capabilities to manage multiple teams and technologies. And also, he was promoted from an assistant vice president position to a vice president position after clearing certification. So, Jitin Khurana here shares that Simplilearn is a fantastic platform to learn new technologies while being employed. And the course content is excellent. And after getting certified, he was able to change his job role and grab a 30% salary hike. Jagdish here also shares that he has learned a lot during his certification from knowledgeable trainers who gave him practical, real-world scenarios to work on. And upon the completion of the certificate, he was offered with new organization project and responsibilities. And then there are thousands more of these success stories, where they come from. The key learnings here, outcomes, just to summarize quickly, we have covered a lot of things. So at the end of it all, you'll from the Simplilearn's leading Safe 6 training you'll be getting, you'll understand and learn about the safe application. And also you'll be able to execute agile release trains, coordinate value streams, manage leads agile portfolios, configure the framework, and unlock intrinsic motivation and support lean agile here. Also, I will be getting a leading Safe 6 training agile certification here as well. And this is how it look like. And before moving on to the further slides, I'll just quickly show you how exactly the website looks like. And I think you can save that link as well for later in case you want to go through it again. And you can also download the syllabus from there as well. So let me just open it for you. I'm just opening the website for you, and I'll share the link towards the website as well once I'm done sharing it with you. So just to quickly take you through the SAFE certification, the leading SAFE 6 training with SAFE Agile certification, which we just covered. You can see that we have a accredited partner here, Scale Agile partner, who's a Silver business partner here. And the training key features which we have covered, we have 16 hours of live instructor-led training. You can earn up to 16 videos for content learning support. And we have a lot of free resources here which you can cover. And there are multiple batches to choose from, which you can see here. And you can see the learning path, which we have just covered in detail as well. You can go and download the syllabus from here even after the webinar and check out more resources in detail. The skills covered, the benefits of the program, the course advices we have here for the round, the certificate, which I'm just for showing you how exactly the certificate looks like. And yeah, these are the details of the program. You can go and check out for yourself. You can check out more success stories of for alumni who have taken the SAFE certification here. And any FAQs, any questions you might have, you can check out here as well. So yeah, that exactly is the program page of the SAFE certification here. Going back to the slide. So these are the things we have covered about the program, and we would love to know your interest. Are you interested in enrolling into the leading SAFE 6 training with SAFE Agile certification program? I'm going to quickly launch a poll here which says, would you like to enroll into the program? And you can share your interest towards enrollment as yes. And with that, the learning consultants from Civilian will be reaching out to you. And even after that, if you have any questions with the link which I'll be sharing towards the program on the chat and other details, you can basically, ask any questions you might have. They anyways will be taking you through a much more detailed walkthrough of the program as well. So just launching that poll, and you can share your interest as yes if you would like to enroll. And also, I'll be quickly taking you through the enrollment steps of the program and what is the program fee for your region. And meanwhile, you folks have already, I see a lot of interested on the chat here. I'm so sorry. I'm just checking it out right now. Okay, awesome. I see folks who have responded already are interested. Now, as the poll is launched, you can go and respond as yes on the poll. And yeah, that will do. Meanwhile, let me just quickly share the link towards the program with you as well. For folks who have already voted for the poll, which is live, enrollment poll. I'm sharing the link which I've just shown you, and you can check it out for your own self as well. Even after the webinar, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us as you're sharing towards enrollment through this poll here. The learning consultants from Simply Learn will be reaching out to you, and you can share it with them as well. They will help address any queries you might have about the program in general. Awesome. I see most of you have already started responding to the poll here. That's great, but I'll give 10-15 seconds more for the poll here. So the poll is live, folks. You can go and respond as yes. This is for folks who have joined us on Zoom. Now for folks who have joined us on the YouTube Live, you can go and click on the link which you see on the top of your chat, the YouTube Live chat box. It will take you to the SAFE certification exam page, which I've just shown you, and you can share. There will be a space to share your few basic details to share your interest towards enrollment. So you can also go and do that. And also there will be a link on the top of the description which you can click and also follow the same process which I've just told you. So yeah, this is for folks on YouTube. And for folks on Zoom, I see most of you have already responded. And I'll just give 10 seconds more for the poll here. So last 10 seconds for the poll. Are you interested in enrolling into the leading SAFE 6 training with SAFE Agile certification? You can respond as yes for sharing your interest on the poll which is live here. And that is how we can reach out to you based on the interest you share towards this poll. So last 5 seconds, folks, for the poll here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. let me end the poll. Thank you so much. From the interest I think I saw towards enrollment, I think we will be quickly going through the enrollment steps of the program. So there are three simple, easy steps you will have to follow. I am just giving you an overview here of what exactly will happen once the learning consultants from Ciplina, when they reach out to you. So you'll have to submit an application. You will have to apply at askus@simpleton.net. And based on that, step 2, the application will be going for review. We will evaluate your qualifications based on the eligibility and the prerequisites that I've shared with you. There are basically no prerequisites for joining the program. But yeah, like we'll evaluate your details which you submit, and based on that, you'll be getting admissions offer. And if approved, we'll be sending you the admissions offers. The learning consultants from Ciplina will be doing that. So this process is just to make sure that you're aware what's going to happen after this. And the program fee here, I think we've gotten a lot of questions that we're interested, but we want to know the program fee as well. So the program fee here for the folks in the US is 448 US dollars. And for Indian candidates, the fee here is 40,499 INR rupees. For folks who have joined from other regions as well, you can go and check out the details of the fee. And as I have shown you, there are multiple cohorts you can choose from as well. So there is no particular cohort to join. That is why I've not put a cohort here, because you can see, I think, let me just quickly go back to the program page and to show you that. So as you can see here, that there are multiple cohorts here which you can choose according to your planning and whenever you're planning to join. So you can see all the cohorts available here to join from. So you can choose from any of those from the link which I've shared on the chat here. So yeah, those are the enrollment steps and the program fee of the program. Now moving on to the Q&A part. So we do have 5 minutes, Brian. I think I see that you have actively been answering a lot of these questions on the Q&A box. Yeah. So folks, please do let us know if you have any questions. This is a really good time to go and put down your questions in the Q&A box. And I saw a lot of good questions in the chat box. I hope those questions were moved to the Q&A box as requested for our speaker, Brian, to address them. So please do that.
Sorry, Rosh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to mention that a question that did come up a few times where people were asking, hey, how do I get an opportunity? How can I get a job with companies that use SAFe or Agile? So a few things I would offer. One is, you might need to look at the companies you're interested in working for. So remember, the scaled Agile framework is typically used by very, very large companies. So when you're doing your search for jobs, look at what those bigger companies are searching for. The second thing, if you're a little bit new and kind of don't have a lot of experience to draw upon, two things you might want to consider. One is you might be surprised that even in whatever experience you have, how much of it relates to Agile practices. So if you can emphasize how you've worked with teams, ways in which you've kind of collaborated with team members and solving problems, those are all Agile behaviors and principles that organizations are very interested in hiring people with those skills. So look for ways in which you can take your work experience and describe it in a way that helps get these opportunities you're interested in. So just wanted to spend a moment on that, because I know there was some interest in a lot of the participants and seeing how can they get these new job opportunities.
Thank you so much, Brian, for addressing those repetitive questions here. I see that you managed to answer actually all of the questions. We are getting few new ones, but if you want to point out, these questions which will be helpful for our audience here, you can, basically just address few of these questions as well, which you have already answered to start with. Okay, I think we are getting a few more questions here. Okay. Folks, a lot of questions have already been answered by Brian here. Can you please go and check out the Q&A box and see the answers there, and let us know if you have any follow-up questions as well. Please do that. We do have few minutes. And with that, Brian can definitely help you, with your queries there. He has basically managed to, address a lot of your queries from the Q&A box here.
Yep, and I'm going to have to wrap up here at the shortly here, Rasha. So
Sure. I understand,
question.
Brian. Awesome. Thank you so much, folks. Please do check out the Q&A box. The answers there. Brian has already managed to answer. We will have to end the session now. And thank you so much, Brian, for your time. And thank you so much for a wonderful session. And we did, go through the Safe Agile framework here in detail and also through the program here. And we saw a lot of interest towards enrollment. And I think we'll be seeing a lot of them in the upcoming cohorts of the program. So thank you so much, Brian, once again. And would you like to say something to the audience here before we end the session?
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. It was great having an opportunity to participate. Love the questions. If you want to continue to follow up, really encourage you to explore this program. It's got so much to offer. Rasha, thanks for facilitating this and getting everything organized and online. I know there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes there, so thank you for facilitating.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brian, once again. Have a good day. And for everyone here, I see a lot of appreciation coming on the chat here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, folks, for being an amazing audience. And thank you so much. We'll be seeing you on another session, maybe with Brian. I've shared the link where you can check out other webinars, and which are lined up for the upcoming month. And you can explore them as well. So thank you so much, folks. We'll be ending the session now. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.